Hit Season 2.
PvT, and he's really focusing on PvP, and he's like, okay, I beat Bomber easy with this all-in and just an easy first game on Frozen Temple, then I play the PvP. I don't know if I think he's going to be playing a PvT if he wins this.
Yeah.
If he plays like that again,
Definitely,
he won't even be in the winner's match.
I'm on the same page with you, man. He's coming down to this one game now in the best of 3 up against Bomber. It is going to be on New Gettysburg, so let's jump into game number 3 between Stats and Bomber right now. We are on one of our newer maps in the pool, New Gettysburg, and down in the bottom right in the red, losing that last one, it is Stats.
And down to the bottom left, in blue, from Terran player, it is Bomber. 2 in this group. All 4 players in the group will have to prepare for 2 matchups if they want to do their full homework, but as I mentioned before, if Stats was really expecting to play a PvP finals, you might actually be thinking he really just focuses on that matchup and takes the easier win over Bomber. The difference in results and caliber for these 2 players ever since Stats switched over to StarCraft 2 full time, it's wider than the Pacific Ocean, okay? I'm not trying to be mean, I'm not trying to be rude, I'm not trying to hurt Bomber fans' feelings, but he is by far and above the favorite in this matchup that we have, this first one.
This is one of our new reporters. I saw her working on actually Uchegot, one of our kind of variety shows actually that they do down here, a StarCraft variety show with the Korean commentators. She's been working on that, so she'll be doing that later on tonight. Usually it comes on after SSL.
Yep. Check it out. It's a cool show.
It's pretty funny, even if you can't understand it. They do kind of funny builds, and they, for fun, 2v2s, and they make rules and stuff. I've seen some of it. It's pretty cool.
It's very similar to, if you followed in the old days, BattleNet Attack that I think NBC Game used to do. It's so long ago, I can't remember if that was OGN or NBC. I think it was NBC. But, yeah, where you would have, basically players play with handicaps against people on the ladder.
Yeah.
This is a fast 3rd CC again here for Bomber. Not as aggressive of a build from Stats, but perhaps what he did in Game 2 was very much related to what he's been told or what he's noticed on the ladder, or maybe someone leaked that Bomber's liking to do these builds. But the problem with his the problem with the Game 2 was not his build, but his execution. And we'll see what happens here in this 3rd game. I feel like when it comes to rushes and timings, your execution is by far the most important thing. But later on in the game, if you can make the right choices and you have good macro, sometimes your micro in those moments is less important, as we saw in game number 1, when Bomber had a significant lead, but Stats just overwhelmed him in the end with better economy, better numbers.
So we do have this Oracle coming out now. It was rallied to the front of the natural. He actually reset that rally as well to the front of the natural, so I think he should be sending that over right away, perhaps to hit with these 2 adepts at the front. Maybe he wants to take an interesting angle here.
Yeah, perhaps he even wants to fight the Marines. I'm starting to see this pattern in this series alone where, in the harassment we're seeing from Stats, he's committing to the army. And this is something I've been talking about for a long time, because I really do think it's a valid tactic. Marines in the early game are so weak. And if you start to get a little bit of a tempo advantage with that, then you can get more SC kills after, and you've killed both. But he's drawing these units to the natural with the Adept Shades. Now we'll get 1 SCV, 1 Mule. We'll delay this eBay, which, if it were finished, maybe we would have had a turret here, but it's an ironic situation.
Yeah, gonna come in 3 SCV kills and a Mule. Does scout the 3rd CC as well. That's already in orbital, so he knows exactly what the timings are and what Bomber's build is.
He also saw it's a quick stem, so what he knows is that even though stem is going to be here soon, he confirms that this is actually what that is for. He saw only a tech up before, I guess, but now he knows it's a quick stem, which leads him to believe that the Marine numbers will be small early, but there's going to be a follow-up attack that can be made that's very strong, as this eBay has actually not been reset. Oops. Oh god, I'm like, Bomber's gonna watch this.
There we
vlog.
go.
He's so upset. It's like, wow, I thought the commentators didn't notice. Oh boy, they were looking at it for a while there.
Well, he does get that going, and I kind of like this build for Terran, especially on bigger maps, right? You get out a very early 3rd CC, but it's not all too risky. You know, perhaps if we saw another proxied Stargate, this would have been kind of risky because you can get in there when there's about 4 Marines, and you're also pumping out, you know, 1, 2 Adepts from one gateway. You can definitely do a ton of damage to the Terran, but Bomber correctly predicting that no build such as that was going to come out. And I feel like it makes sense, you know, going into game number 3, you're going up against someone like Stats. He's probably going to just sit back and be like, oh, I got to play a normal standard game now. I can't be messing around anymore. And Bomber, he goes greedy and he gets away with it because of it.
I like the idea here because when you think about it, oh, this depot actually not being reset either. Just a small little thing. The build that he's chosen is very good defensively. Like, there's no way that Stats can break him or kill him when you have Stim this quickly. He doesn't have that many Marines, but on the defensive, that'll be okay. But it also allows him now, if he hits it, he doesn't have enough money right now, but if he does it the second, drop down the combat shield upgrade, he can hit with combat shields +1 and a large Marine count that's built off of these 3 barracks he's adding right now, with an economy that supports it. The counter to this, though, is because Stats knew he had such a weak army early, Stats was also counter-wise greedy. He took a 3rd base, he got a very early forge, he's going to have +1 as well. And his 3rd base was mining. And oh no, 2 mules wasted. Where's that mule's cane?
You gotta throw it up at the Oracle, try to knock it out of the air there, perhaps. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting looking at Stats now. We are going to go into a very long macro kind of style here, and this is going to be the first time. I love the addition of the Void Ray too. Just over there, he's like, there's basically only one path unless you're going to go over the bridge. And just having 1 Void Ray there, as well as 2 pylons on the edge of his base, can really just deny anything as long as the Mothership Core is there. So he can really spread out his defense more so towards the 2nd, 3rd, and even 4th base that's coming up now.
There's somewhat of a blind spot for these turrets, just enough to allow this drop, but I don't think he'll be able to do a defensive pickup. He's just going to have to let these Adepts go. Bomber predicts that it is going to be a 2-pronged attack, though. It does have units ready. Again, the Stim I was talking about, very useful defensively, but it's not enough here at the 3rd base. Combat shields are not ready. Would have been really useful to have here. 6 seconds left. They're done now, but looks like the damage has been done.
Yeah, he's not even going for the Marines. He kills 18 SCVs. Now he shades into the natural 22, 25, 28. I mean, there's so many Adepts over here. Even the Oracle getting into the action.
This is a done deal here in game number 3. Pretty much type your GG now. The Shades get in the main base, and Bomber is DED dead, man.
He's going to lose his entire economy to about 9-10 Adepts and 1 Oracle here.
Oh, those are the wrong kind of mules that you see. This is the mules that you put down when you lost the game. 55 dead SCVs, and he's not done. 58. The Korean company is going crazy. GG.
What? That's it, GG. He just gets out of the game right there, and Stats, the Fury, he comes back. We've seen angry Stats now for the first time. He wants Bomber out of his series.
Bomber signs off on that so fast. That's the Pacific Ocean of skill difference I'm talking about when it comes to the ability to deal with harassment like that. Bomber got countered because Stats had a fast 3rd base. He had a large army that was built there. He knew the layout of Bomber's bases because he saw the way they were made. Not having combat shields there would have made that defense a lot tougher for Bomber. He lost a lot of Marines, and then he didn't have enough Marines to split between all 3 bases. And I gotta say it, like, I mean, Bomber's been a pro gamer for a long time, but he really struggled in that first series in a lot of ways, and I think the Game 2 win was really just Stats' mistake. And he really needs to shape it up in the next series if he's going to survive this group.
And you look at the other side of the bracket, too, Deer or Gumiho, also 2 very strong players that Bomber's going to have a lot of trouble with. So, guys, we are going to go to a quick commercial break before we get into that series of Deer versus Gumiho. We'll be right back.
Never had a plan B, they told me I should probably adopt one. I don't know, shoot, what's a ghost to a shotgun?